Okay, I've had to do this a second time because my dingbat brain isn't working very well, and I didn't have my mic on right, so now I got to remember what the hell I said in the first one, except that when I first got clean and sober and was going to meetings, somebody told me that fear meant fuck everything and run. But really it means false evidence appearing real. And that was helpful to me because I've always lived a life of fear. Less now than before, but even now. I was raised with a sociopathic mother, a father who was gone all the time in Vietnam and then got his own family, and I hardly ever saw him. So there was really no safe place for me except my grandparents' house and stuff like that. And I was brutalized, and she was a psychologist, so she really knew how to fuck you over psychologically. And then her boyfriends would come in and out, and some of them molested me. And you know, the thing is that, you know, there is a pill for anxiety, or drugs for anxiety. You know, there's alcohol, there's cocaine, there's bunches of stuff, tranquilizers. But the problem is that while you're on them, you don't feel the fear, but when you're coming down, you feel the fear all over again. So there's no permanent fix for that, except to try to work through what it is that leads you to your behavior of today. You know, when you've had a traumatic childhood, your brain chemistry actually changes completely. And, well, not completely, but it changes significantly. And, you know, some of the mood disorders that we talk about, depression and bipolar disorder, which I have, can happen no matter what, even if you had a hunky-dory childhood. But things like anxiety, PTSD, that kind of stuff. I mean, I had panic attacks for years. All my life, in fact, until a few years after I got married to my husband. We found that 20 milligrams of Lexapro and the 100 panic attacks I was having every day, I stopped having them. So, I mean, I still have them every once in a while, but it's nothing like it was. But I've done a lot of psychological work, too. And by the way, if you need help quitting smoking, although I don't tend to think visualizing helps at all, but you can look at me with an oxygen, having to be tethered to oxygen all the time, and I can't do hardly anything, and it had everything to do with my smoking. Nothing else caused that. COPD, primarily emphysema, that's completely cigarettes. And I'm 57, so you too can have my life if you want it. The other thing that struck me, Mike, when you were talking about, you know, when you were smoking and a neighbor gave you up, and you went up to your dad and he kicked the shit out of your, that was the inference. Is that maybe the reason you've held on to cigarettes is because it gives you a sense of control over your father? Now, you know, I don't know if that's true or not, but I can tell you that when we come from a brutal childhood, we usually grow up to as adults to brutalize ourselves. So we continue the abuse on ourselves that our parents and parent or caregiver or whatever did to us. We just tend to repeat it over and over again. So, you know, once you truly understand that stuff, you can actually make some choices. And the choice is, am I going to allow my dead alcoholic dad to continue to mess with my life, or am I not? Am I going to make a choice? Because it's about choice. It's not about, you don't even have to want to do it. You just have to choose to do it. I never wanted to quit drinking. I never wanted to stop sticking a needle in my arm. But I was willing to, because what I saw as possible, if I did, outweighed continuing. Because I knew what it was like living that way. I didn't know what it was like not living that way and not living in fear. I still look out my back window to see if cops are following me, which is ridiculous. All they're going to find is an oxygen tank, you know, and some cigarettes, because I still smoke. But yeah, you're welcome to have my life if you like it. It's very attractive, don't you think? Anyway, so I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed your video. Living a life of fear. I think you're absolutely right. And I think that what gets people most of the time is absolutely fear. Fear. Fear people won't love us. Fear people won't like us. Feel, we won't be accepted. Fear that we're going to be obliterated or annihilated, which was always my fear. And I don't remember what else I said on the first video that didn't have any audio to it. So, and I can't even get it back because I can't hear the audio. So, anyway, Mike, hang in there. You'll do great. You want to quit those cigarettes? You'll quit. And there's nothing that'll stop you. Because if you put as much energy into the quitting as you did the smoking, there's nothing that can stop you. So, good luck with that, huh?